Good morning. Today I'm going to talk about soil preparation before a new planting. It is really important to analyze and determine the kind of soil you have in order to select the proper root system as well as the proper varietal to grow on it. This particular plot here is in Costières de Nîmes, and it starts with what we call a soil profile. We dig a hole, usually about 7 to 8 feet deep, and we analyze and observe the various layers of soil, and we take samples that we get analyzed in order to determine not just the mineral composition of the soil, but the physical composition. By physical, I mean the sizes of the different elements, which are ranked in basically 4 categories. What's called refuse, which are stones or little pieces of rock that are superior to 2 millimeters. In other words, they don't hold any kind of minerals or nutrients. Their role in the soil is purely physical. Then we have coarse and fine sands, which have an impact on the texture, but not much, again, on the nutrition of the plant. Then we have lime, and clay. Clay really is acts as a sponge, and it is the particles that keep the water and keep the nutrients for the plant. Let me point to you the specific profile of this plot of Costières de Nîmes. So we came with a backhoe, and we dug this hole, and first let's observe the sediments that we pulled out. A lot of rocks, a lot of pebbles, which is natural given the fact that our terroir was created by the Rhone. Those are sediments carried by rivers. The pebbles are round, and you can see quite a variation in color in this pile. It comes from the fact that, as many of the sedimentary soils, there have been layers and layers of sediments accumulated throughout the ages, and they don't necessarily come from the same mountains or from the same places. You can see how red this particular zone is. Red comes from the iron oxide color, which is a very good feature for vineyard soil, as it is important to the color it will give to red wines. Let's go into the hole now. Okay. The topsoil is a little lighter, a little grayer. The Rhone sediments are covered with sediments created by the wind. So those are mostly very fine sediments mixed in with the pebbles, and they're gray because there's a lot of lime in it. So typically it makes for a fairly poor topsoil. Then as we go deeper, and as you can see, this is the root of a former vineyard, we get into the redder zone, and which is a lot more clay and still a lot of pebbles. The clay is important because this is where the vines are going to find their water in the dry season. If we keep going down, you can see that kind of soil is similar throughout the entire profile. You see right here still a lot of rock, some sand, which usually comes from the rock decomposition. The rocks kind of, with the water and the acidity of the water, kind of decompose into coarse sediments. The important feature of rolled pebbles is the fact that they don't compact. If you think about making a road, typically when you want to fill a hole, you're using sharp angle stones because they interlock and becomes very compact. The rolled pebbles never compact, which makes for soils that are easy for plants to go through. the roots go around the rocks and can access the deeper zones, which are typically richer in water, which is an important feature for vineyards in the Mediterranean climate. What's the role of the pebbles? Some people have read about the storing the heat and giving it away at night, making for a warm terroir. I personally don't buy this. Well, at least I don't buy that it's really important. What's really important is water management. When it rains here, usually it rains hard, but seldom. And when the soil is covered with stone, it makes for a coarse surface, and the water typically infiltrates the soil better. Also, it makes for a draining soil, so when huge amounts of water are dropped in a short period of time, you have a higher percentage that actually penetrates the soil. And the second is the reverse. When we have long, dry, windy periods, the stones at the surface of the soil act as a blanket and prevent too much evaporation of water. So to me, the key feature of a rolled pebble terroir is the water management part of it rather than the heat management part of it. But that's my take on this.